Cessna 756 X-ray Concord Tower, 19 left, clear for takeoff, left downwind departure is approved.
Left downwind departure approved. Runway 19 left, 7561 X-ray. Thank you. Verified 19 left, final clear. We're on the center line. We'll go full power and a lot of right rudder needed. Wind is right down the pipe. Airspeed is alive. Instruments are in the green.
Welcome to the skies. Every time the wheels lift off, it's the beginning of a new adventure. And today, we're working on my high performance and complex endorsement. It's a 10-hour checkout in this 182 RG, so we're building time and also trying to knock out an intro to mountain flying. Looking to kill two birds with one stone. And it's still a work in progress. I'm definitely late getting the landing gear up. Flying with one of my CFIs in the flying group, NRI. His name is Griffin. He flies for Southwest, and he's been showing me so much with these different airplanes. Got me checked out in the 172. I'm pretty familiar with that plane. We knocked out the Piper.
Yeah.
Archer
The
2.
plane I got my license in.
That's a really cool plane. You should
I like it, yeah.
I like it a lot. It's extremely smooth. And now we're working on this 182 RG, which is a 10-hour checkout. A lot more moving pieces. Big difference from a 172 because, 172, it's heavy. But in the 172, being like ahead of the aircraft means maybe 5 minutes. In this thing, it's more like 10, 15 minutes because 10 to 15 minutes in this is no time.
Yeah, it happens fast, yeah. Right. And you're just going fast, right? So yeah, stuff happens a lot faster for sure.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting learning experience for sure. Definitely some challenges in the beginning, just a lot more moving pieces, and being again ahead of the airplane, getting it under control and under appropriate speed when you're joining the traffic pattern. Before we get too far, let's talk a little bit about our planned route of travel. We're taking off from Concord and we're going to head toward Placerville. From Placerville, we'll pretty much follow I-50 on up into Tahoe. I-50 will be our out should in case we have an engine failure or some type of an issue. Now let's jump back in the plane and see what Griffin has to say about altitude.
One school of thought too is like step climbing up to Tahoe, which is what I prefer because I don't like to, for starters, I don't like to be at 11,500 feet if I don't have to, right? For hypoxia, it's like high cabin altitude, hard on your skin, right? Like all sorts of reasons, dehydration. So 5,500 is my thinking until we get closer to Placerville, and then we can start to step climb up as we get closer to the terrain.
So we'll do most of our travel at 5,500. And at what point do you like to start leaning the mixture in this?
Probably since we're just going to 5,500, when we get to 5,500, we'll be fine, yeah. But if we were going up, starting right about now, I'd say is an appropriate time just to start coming back on the mixture. And you're looking really in this airplane, you're not going to lean it all the way until you get like a drop in RPM. That's what you do in cruise, right?
Right.
I usually, with the JPI engine monitor, I'd start leaning it until I see a rise in the EGTs, right? So in this airplane right now, our EGTs are like around 1,300, a little cooler on sub cylinders, right? Which is fine. But I'd want to get those up like 100 degrees probably. And then you'll just keep the power where it's at. I wouldn't touch anything until we level off, start to accelerate, right? Because that will change our
everything.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm working on holding us level. A little trim to help me out.
Yep, and you'll find tons and tons and tons of trim as you level off in these airplanes, right? Because that wing just generates so much lift as we start to accelerate, right?
Right, exactly.
A doubling in the speed quadruples the lift production, right? So even a 10, 20 knot increase in our true airspeed as we level off, right?
Yeah.
Really does affect the amount of lift that we produce. And you're feeling that, right? Like
exactly.
Yeah. Good. So basically this manifold pressure of 21.5 inches, perfect. I wouldn't touch it at all. RPM, we will bring back probably 100 RPM now. So let's bring that back by twisting it to like 2250. Right there, I'd say that's good.
Okay.
And then we'll go ahead and lean it as well. So this is, you can do a rough lean, right? Like bring it all the way back until you get a reduction in the RPM, feel engine roughness, re-enriching it. Until you get smoothness, and then maybe a half turn in more, and that will be approximately 50-ish degrees rich a peak. And you can see as you're doing that, all your EGTs are rising, right? So that's telling us that leaning is in fact occurring. Yep, there's some roughness, so you can enrich it again. And I'd say like right about there feels pretty good. Maybe a quarter turn more in. Yeah, right about there feels pretty good.
3049.
And now we're looking at our cylinder head temperatures, right? Everything is in the low 300s pretty
Yes.
much.
Yep.
So we can go ahead and close the cow flaps.
All right.
November 8.
Here we go. Now we're set up for cruise flight here at 5,500. Obviously, when we go to climb to 11,500, we're just going to redo everything we did. So like cow flaps open a little bit, increase the propeller,
Yep.
right? So we increase the RPM.
Exactly.
And then increase the throttle. When you reduce power, you go this way. When you add power, you go this way.
Copy.
Left to right. Yeah. So about 45 minutes till we get there at this altitude.
All right, this is greatness. We're checking back in, and we are at 11,500 feet, getting close to the mountains. We've got snow caps everywhere, which looks beautiful. And we're just about to get over the freeway,
Highway 50. Yep.
over Highway 50, which in an emergency would be our best bet for an hour.
We're at a 1.
That's right. It's going to be pretty. This is as nice of a day to do this checkout flight as I've seen in a while.
This is awesome.
Yeah, you picked a good one for sure.
It's cold, it's clear, it's not bumpy, very little winds. Winds are calm up here right now,
Probably the highest pressure you've flown in.
without question.
Yeah.
Our pressure right now is 3054, which is pretty legit. So we've had no issues. It's been a great flight, a fast flight.
Fast. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. 49 minutes so far. We probably have another, it's saying 10-ish minutes. So just under an hour to get to South Lake.
Exactly.
Pretty soon we'll see the ski resorts that come up here because 50 splits, and then you have Desolation Wilderness off the left side of our nose. And in just a second, we're going to start to see the lake. So I expect it to be glass, the lake. It'll probably just be super smooth, silky smooth today with this low wind speed. There's the lake. You can just start to see it right there.
Yeah.
There.
200%
That's awesome.
1556.
Center Delta 741.
See how just a little bit of wind can make it a little bit uncomfortable, and like see how the
741.
the wind coming off the terrain can yield like
Maintain 2.
crazy vertical speeds.
Yeah, mountain flying is no joke.
It's significantly different yet than other types of flying.
So there's 50 right there down below us.
Yep, you can see it.
It is tiny.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That would be pretty harrowing descending into that that valley right there, trying to land on 50. So pretty much our routing is going to take us straight through this valley right here.
Okay.
And then we're going to cut left into the next valley, and that's going to put us into the downwind leg.
Okay, so we're going around these. Gotcha.
Definitely, yeah.
Gotcha.
You're going to kind of in and down. So probably pretty soon here, we're going to start down.
Start descending.
Yeah, and so
Okay.
for our descent, we're not going to really change anything here. We're just going to pull the throttle back to the bottom of the green.
Yep.
We can pull the prop back to about 2,200 RPMs, and then we'll close the cow flaps because we don't want to shock cool our motor.
Cool. As soon as we get kind of into this valley.
I'd say in about 1 minute, you're going to want to start your descent.
Okay. Copy. So we'll be ready to start that descent in about a minute.
And then since it is a little bit turbulent, you do want to stay out of the yellow arc when you're flying up here.
Copy that. All right. So we'll bring the power back just a little bit.
Yep. And
More
this
than
is
a
when
little.
it's for sure start time down. Yep.
Okay.
Keep coming back on that manifold. Keep coming back. Keep
Yep,
coming
bottom
back.
of the green. Bring
Yeah,
it back
there you
here.
go.
And then we'll come back to about 2,200.
Yep. And then you can close up your cow flaps, and then you can go ahead and start trimming the nose down. Yeah.
All right.
You see the airport?
That's it right there?
That's it. Yeah, behind those rocks.
Here we go. We are on our descent down into Tahoe. NorCal approach, 7561 X-ray. I have Tahoe in sight.
61 X-ray, roger, radar service terminated, squawk VFR, frequency change approved.
Squawk VFR, radar service terminated. Frequency change approved. 7561 X-ray. Thank you.
Good. Bring your power back a little bit more. Try and keep it right on. Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Because that 1 inch really does make a difference in a descent.
South Lake Tahoe traffic, 7561 X-ray is 6 miles to the south. We're going to make a 45 entry for the left downwind for runway 18 South Lake Tahoe.
Perfect. Good. You can enrich in maybe 1/2 turn to the right. There you go.
The lake, pretty much like you say, is glass, which is absolutely beautiful.
I can't wait to bring Tay here for a weekend trip. This will be epic.
Get on this downwind. It's very clear. I see exactly why you're saying you
Yes.
land one way.
Well, look at the
depart-
displaced threshold on that runway. It's a third of the way down the runway. It's 3,000 feet about.
Typically, you want to land coming from the lake and take off toward the lake to avoid the terrain that you see all around us.
South Lake Tahoe traffic, 7561 X-ray. Entering the downwind, the left downwind for runway 18 South Lake Tahoe. Come back a tad more. And we're going to want to start slowing down as well.
Yep. So you can come out of the green arc, but just put the carb heat on.
Copy. Car beats on. Coming out of the green arc. We're gonna pull back to slow us down. Get rid of that annoying gear sound. We're below 140.
Good.
There it is. That'll help get us down as well. More drag.
Good. Just watch that
Nice.
descent rate too.
Yep.
That gear really causes a high sink rate. Good.
There we go. Gear is down, verified, green light, and I had movement, so things are good.
Good. And I would widen out your downwind just a touch here. This
Copy.
because your turning radius will be high with the high density altitude that
Okay.
you're used to.
A few notes on the airfield. Look at that massive runway. It's 8,541 feet long by 100 feet wide. Field altitude is 6,268 feet, and the traffic pattern for small aircraft is 7,500 feet.
Beam the numbers, speed is fine. I can get the first notch of flaps to go down. So there we are. First notch of flaps. South Lake Tahoe traffic, 7561 X-ray. Turning left base for runway 18 South Lake.
Good. And don't be deceived because you're pretty high right now. I'd say turning base.
Okay.
If you watch one of my most recent flying videos, you know I love ocean views. But there's something different about these snow-capped mountains and this beautiful lake.
South Lake Tahoe traffic, 7561 X-ray. Turning final for runway 18 South Lake.
Aviation is incredible. Had you told me 2 years ago when I started this journey of trying to become a private pilot that I'd be landing an airplane at South Lake Tahoe, I wouldn't have believed you.
Good. So now we can just do so we're going to enrich in the mixture just one turn to the right. Prop goes high RPM by turning it. Good. Now we're configured for a go around if we need to.
Copy.
Landing gears down. So a quick BC gum checklist, right? Booster pump we don't have. Gas or carb heat's on. Gas is on both. Undercarriage.
Undercarriage.
2 in the mirror, 1 on your side.
Yep.
Green light.
Yes.
Mixture is set. Prop is high RPM and S is seat belts and lights.
I'm making some adjustments to get us on glide slope. I pulled the power back a little bit, pushed down, and as soon as we re-intercept,
So a little power. Now
Good.
we've got 2 and 2. There we go. That way we can drag it in nice.
we look good and stabilized on our final approach. I am using quite a bit of trim here to alleviate some of that back pressure, because you don't want to wrestle the gorilla longer than you have to. We're rounding out over this last arrow, coming over the threshold, and let's see how this landing goes.
Good.
Definitely not my best work and far from butter, but you know what? I'll take it. Make sure you like and subscribe to join me on my next adventure. Aviation is all about exploration, growth, and fun. And may there always be wind beneath your wings. Peace.